looking forward to hear your presentation and your views.
Thank you.
Welcome نبيل واشتقنا.
نعم.
ماليا إذا بتعرفينا عن حالك. هاي كاميليا.
هاي كاميليا عيسى Head of Service Desk بالSGBL. أنا جديدة على الجروب عندكم أول مرة
أهلا وسهلا. أهلا وسهلا. شو الباك جراوند تبعك؟ سوري شو الباك جراوند قلتي لي؟
أنا IT جاي من الديفلوبمنت. كنت بالاي تي ديفلوبمنت كمان 20 years بس كلهم بالSGBL.
اوكي شرفنا وويلكم تو SDFA.
Thank you.
So mainly جاي مع Agile plus Service Desk.
مظبوط.
Yes. Okay. All right.
اوكي هادي مع حسام كمان بتعرفونا بحالكم.
هاي جوانا كيفك؟ معك هادي عراوي.
هلو هادي.
أنا هلا كارنتلي ببروجكت مع رياض جفرمنت السعودية ISO 20000 for IT service management. بعرف شباب previously from different engagement. I'm already certified ITIL, COBIT and ISO. I'm one of the members in SDFA. Nice to meet you. Looking forward for this. I think it will be a great presentation, and I'm highly interested in this topic.
Inshallah.
Thank you.
Okay. Mirna Saliba. Hi Mirna.
Hi again.
Hey, sorry أنا حق علي بعتذر.
ولا يهمك.
No problem. خوري جوني.
بونسوار جميعا. اعذروني بس معاني شوية ألرجيز هاليومين مش كوفيد. أنا هلا Head of Application Support و System Analysis بنك ماد. Previously كنت كمان من ميلة الديفلوبمنت. كنا عم نخلص الكور بروجكت بالبنك ماد و currently صلنا we are supporting actually Afterlife صلنا around 6 or 7 months وهلا officially استلمت Head of Application Support.
مبروك جوني وويلكم on the group. وكيف صار الدسوقي؟
منيح is good. هلا هو صار احسن. انا بلشت عم سوق هلا هاليومين صار لي شي جمعه ما عم نشوف بعضنا انا وياه.
Alright. So let's start. نحن we are also streaming live على YouTube. Meanwhile, so إذا في حدا watching us from YouTube, welcome. اللي watching us من قلب Zoom, thank you اليوم على ال participation. It's another session. اليوم الضيف تبعنا عن جد she is very valuable. She is an agile coach and a very valuable agile coach بكتير خبرة. جوانا خوري, please take the lead وتفضلي. The floor is all yours. Whatever you
Thank
need.
you. Thank you رودي. أول شيء بدي أقول ميرسي كتير لرودي ولأنطوان لأنه عزموني تكون موجودة بيناتكم اليوم ونحكي شوي عن Agile in the Service Desk. So ميرسي لكم. I will share a presentation. You can interrupt me for any question if you wish, and you can send your questions على الchat, and I'm sure Rudy and Antoine will manage them.
Yes. Any question you have, please خلوهم على الchat. by the end of the session نحن رح ناخد Q&A, so please do join us على the chat.
Okay. I have a small issue in sharing. ما بعرف ليش مع انه
اللي
we tried
جربناها
it
من
and it
30
worked وجربناها ومشيت.
تاني.
ايه بهالوقت بدي اسالكم do you prefer انه احكي بالانجلش ولا عربي وانجليزي سوا ولا كيف معودين؟
You can have both.
Okay.
Okay, the presentation I can see it.
Perfect.
إلا إذا معنا شي audience أجنبي.
Do we have
anybody from? No, I think we're good. We can go in both languages.
Okay. So as Rudy said, today we're going to talk about Agile in Service Desk. The objective of today is to discuss Agile in general. We'll not go into details, it's a wild word. And we will discuss how we can apply Agile in Service Desk. Mainly, I will focus on Kanban because this is the Agile practice and framework that is most suited to Service Desk. I will discuss as well Scrum. And if you need to ask me questions about anything that I didn't mention in the presentation, you can do that at the end of the session. To introduce myself a little bit, I guess Rudy mentioned it all. As he said, I am an Agile coach, consultant, and trainer since 2014. I worked with different companies in Lebanon and abroad in their Agile transformation. I have experience in many Agile frameworks like Scrum, Kanban, SAFe, Scrumban. And my background is a Bachelor in Computer Science and an Executive MBA. So what is Agile? You can open your mic and shout, what is Agile for you? Shout, مش ضروري على صوت كتير عالي بس إنه شو يعني Agile؟ Whatever comes to your mind.
Flexibility.
Flexibility. Okay. What else?
Time effective.
Effective. What else?
Recurrent
dynamic,
iterations.
something dynamic.
Recurrent, iteration, dynamic. بعد في شيء؟
Time to market.
And to market?
Time to market.
Time to market.
Yes.
Fast time to market, yes.
Sprint methodology.
Yes, sprint in Scrum. Sprinting, yes. What else?
Efficiency.
Efficiency.
Better alignment, a better way of doing things.
Better way of doing things, or better alignment.
Teamwork.
All your answers. Yes.
Adaptation.
Adaptation. All your answers are right. Thank you very much. Congratulations. You know it all. شو بدكم مني؟ بتعرفوا كل شيء. Agility is all what you said. It is the ability to rapidly and deliberately respond to changing demand while controlling risk. We are in a volatile market. Demands might change. We all know this. We all have experienced this. So being agile means we are able to change our plan based on the changing demand in the market while controlling risk. Why? Because change will induce risk. So in agility, we plan for change. We adapt change in our process. Agile that we know started with the Agile Manifesto in February 2001. A group of CEOs from different companies, they met in a Utah ski resort in February, and they were discussing how they do work. And they wanted to come together in some values and principles that they can use. بعتقد you all know the Agile values. I'm not saying anything new here by mentioning that the 4 Agile values are individuals and interactions over process and tools, customer collaboration over contract negotiation, working software over comprehensive documentation, and responding to change over following a plan. It's very important to mention that the manifesto doesn't say at all that the items on the right are useless or we don't do them. We do them, but we focus more on the items on the left. A second question to you. Are these values appreciated in service desk or in your work environment? And I mean the values on the left, like individual, because we all have process and tools. We all negotiate contract. We all have documentation and we all follow a plan. However, when it comes to individual and interactions, customer collaboration, working software or working product or delivering value and responding to change, how are these values viewed in your environment? Come in, you can shout.
Very important, I guess.
Very important. Any other opinion?
Main point, end user satisfaction. It's really a value for the service desk
yes.
level.
Yes.
And the change it's mandatory for in a service desk topology for any environment.
Okay. Okay. Why I'm asking? Because if we want to think about being agile or adopting agile frameworks or whatever, we need first to see if these values suit our culture, our company, our environment. If the values doesn't suit our environment, then whatever framework we apply, it will not work. If you visit the Agile Manifesto, you will not only see these 4 values, you will also see 12 principles that are very correlated with these values. Now, in our work, usually we have the requirements and we have the technology. And we have projects where the requirements and the technology is very simple, where we have other projects where the requirements and the technology may not be so simple. They might be changing a little bit in those requirements and technology. We have other projects where there is a lot of uncertainty in both the requirements and the technology. So we can be either in a simple environment where requirements and technology are very, how would I say, fixed and we know they won't change. We can be in complicated environment where the requirement and the technology is mostly fixed, but there might be changes. And we can be in environments or projects where the requirements and the technology are more changing than fixed. And we have a lot of uncertainty. When I say change, I mean uncertainty. And we have situations where it's complete anarchy. Where do you think Agile is useful, in your opinion?
All of them. The simple is the easiest, but no, it's important in all of them, I believe.
Yes, it is
more
important.
Complexity, more agile, I guess.
Yes, you can use Agile anywhere, definitely, but more complex your project is, more you need to use Agile. You cannot make it if you don't use Agile. If we have a fixed plan from the beginning and we have changes along the way, the fixed plan will not serve us. While if we have a fixed plan from the beginning and we are sure that there will not be changes, we are in a simple project where no changes will occur, the fixed plan will work for us. Like we don't necessarily have to be agile. But when we are in a complex environment, we kind of have to be agile. Otherwise, it won't work. Let me tell you a small story. Agile is not only about the Agile Manifesto. In 1940, after the World War II in Japan, the resources were very scarce. So it was very difficult to find the needed material and resources to build cars. Toyota was a car company in Japan, and it was in this same problem. Like, they didn't have enough resources to continue their business. And they were invited by a car company to the United States to visit some car industries in the United States and see how they do work. Some top management and people from Toyota went there, and in their visit, one of the people from Toyota was impressed by the supermarkets in the United States. He was impressed by how in the supermarkets the products are limited on the shelf. And then when the products finish from the shelves, they are replenished. He liked the idea. And when he came back to Toyota, he said, I will try to apply this idea. So they started by visualizing their production lane or workflow or production process. They visualized this, and then they made sure to produce as much as they have requests, not more. So they will minimize their stock, they will minimize the waste they are doing, and they will use the resources they have efficiently. This was the need. This model that was used in Toyota was called lean or lean manufacturing. It was built on like 4 main points. Lean is big, but I will focus on 4 main points. First of all, avoiding waste. So we optimize our resources in a way to avoid waste and maximize value. In the case of Toyota, they followed the supermarket approach. So they were producing based on the demand of the clients. The second point is visualizing the process. If I have a process, I need to see it. I need to visualize it to be able to improve it. And this is what they did. They visualized their process on what we know as Kanban board. They continuously improved the process using Kaizen, which is a Japanese word, means continuous improvement. And they were fixing the defects on the spot. So in Toyota, any employee that can stop the system and fix a defect. Why? Because we know that fixing the defects far from the production will cost us more than fixing it close to the production, whether we are talking software development or industry or manufacturing or whatever. And those who work in the software development will know that fixing a bug 6 months after I release my product is more difficult than fixing a bug while I'm developing the code. It's more difficult than fixing a bug like 1 week after I develop the code. So as a result of applying Lean, Toyota became an international competitor in the car industry, and man hours per car were less than its Swedish, USA, and even German competitors. The Lean principles are as follow. Like, we define value, we map the value stream, we create the flow, we establish pull, we will talk a little bit more about pull later, and we pursue perfection. In the same line, we have what we call PDCA, Plan, Do, Check, Act. You have definitely heard about this. We plan what we want to do, we do it, we check what we did and learn, and then we improve or change our plan or act based on what we learned. And this we do it continuously. What is the link between Lean, Agile, PDCA? The link is 3 things. We reduce waste, we deliver value, we do it in small increments. Why? Because we want to learn, improve, and do it again. Anybody has any questions till now? Okay, I will continue. I will talk about Kanban. We mentioned that in Toyota, they used a Kanban board to visualize the flow. So as you can see, a Kanban board allows you to visualize the flow. It has first in, first out. So my first ticket in the Kanban board has the highest priority. The second one has the second highest priority. In Kanban, we don't have restrictive roles or ceremonies. We pursue ongoing delivery. Whenever an item is ready, we deliver it. And we use pull versus push. By pull, I mean, if I am a part of the process, like if I am a part of the workflow, either work can be pushed to me, or I can pull work when I am ready to do some work. And in Kanban, we follow the pull, not the push workflow. So each part of the process, or each node, or each element will pull some work from the previous station whenever they are ready to do it. I will talk about another Agile framework. Somebody mentioned sprints. So I will talk a little bit about Scrum. The difference between Scrum and Kanban is that Kanban is used to visualize and optimize a specific workflow, while Scrum is used to build complex products when sometimes you don't have a specific workflow to follow, or you might not have the same workflow for all the products. In Scrum, you start working from a prioritized backlog. So it's not first in, first out. You have a list of features you want to build for your product, and you need to prioritize them to deliver the top value feature to the client first. In Scrum, you have roles and ceremonies. You have product owner, Scrum Master, and development team. And you have sprint planning, daily stand-up, review, retrospective, and you have the sprint within which you do the work. It's a fixed iteration within which you do the work. Delivery in Scrum is done at the end of the sprint. And Scrum and Kanban can be merged very easily. Some companies use a mixture of both, which we call Scrumban. Why I mentioned these two frameworks specifically? Because they are the most used Agile framework in the industry for Agile teams. Now, let's talk about ITIL 4, which is like the basics of help desk or service desk. And we have here the 7 principles of ITIL. Focus on value, start where you are, progress iteratively and feedback, collaborate and promote visibility, think and work holistically, keep it simple and practical, optimize and automate. My question to you is, which values from Agile and Lean, these values make you remember? إذا بدنا نتذكر شوي الفاليوز اللي حكينا عليهم بالأجايل مانيفستو والفاليوز اللي حكينا عليهم بلين بتويوتا.
progress iteratively with feedback.
اوكي، شو بتذكرك؟
بتذكرني بالاجايل.
اوكي، شو كمان؟
Most of them, I guess.
Most of them, okay.
Maybe not automate, but optimize offshore.
Maybe not automate, but optimize offshore, for sure, okay. Any other intervention?
Focus on value.
Focus on value, exactly. Because in Agile, The high priority is to deliver value. When we say working software, it means value. When we say reduce waste, and we reduce waste because we want to increase value. Yes. What else?
Collaborate and promote visibility.
Yes. بشو بتذكرك؟
بالagile, and basically when we are trying to solve something complex, instead of waiting till the end, at every single step page, you can talk and try to see the whole aspect. When there's a problem, you just escalate it, fix it, and then move to the next step. So by collaborating all the team together and allowing to see more visible the stuff, it's making things much faster and costing less and reducing waste and.
Exactly. So if we take the Agile Manifesto, أنا عملت هالمابينج. So هيدا المابينج when you can do another mapping. So focus on value, remind me of working software. Progress iteratively with feedback, remind me of customer collaboration. And what you said about like resolving the problem together as a team, iteratively, instead of losing time into passing the message from to. And collaborate and promote visibility reminded me of individuals and interactions. Think and work holistically also reminded me of working software. Also كمان إذا بنشوف the lean values, start where you are reminded me of visualize the flow. So when I visualize my flow, I visualize the current flow. I don't wait until I improve it. I just visualize what I have. Progress iteratively with feedback reminded me of small increment, as you said. Plan, do, check, act, and repeat. Collaborate and promote visibility reminded me of Kanban, the visibility in Kanban in Lean. Keep it simple and practical reminded me of reducing waste. Optimize and automate reminded me of continuous improvement. Somebody mentioned that automation doesn't exist in Agile. Actually, in the Agile Manifesto of 2001, automation wasn't mentioned. In the Agile Manifesto of 2011, or the updated version of the Agile Manifesto, they focused on technical excellence, extreme programming practices, and automation. For software teams, automation is essential to be agile. They cannot iterate quickly and surely without having things automated, without having their tests or their integration or automated. This is why we have any Scrum team today would use extreme programming practices to automate unit tests, functional tests, regression tests, continuous integration. So automation wasn't mentioned initially in Agile, but it is needed to be really agile. Some statistics. I know that you might be interested in some statistics. لأن وقت نحكي Agile, as you know, is the 4 values and 12 principles. حتى بلين, we are talking about principles. But to implement Agile, we need frameworks or methodologies, مثل Kanban or Scrum. So let's see in the market what is used currently. The Agile frameworks for teams are Scrum, Kanban, Lean, Scrumban, and some people use hybrid methodology. Scrum is still the most used. 37% of the market use Scrum. The statistics from 2019 ما بعتقد انه قل كتير الماركت share today, but you can check. Kanban is used by 11% of the market share. The mixture of both is used by 5%. And when we say hybrid, multiple methods, we have 35%. They don't follow strictly Scrum or Kanban or Lean. It can be something else. Now, Agile at scale. Agile is currently used by big organizations, by multinationals. And these multinationals will still use Scrum or Kanban at the team level, but they need frameworks to be able to answer all their needs, not only at team levels, but at different levels like portfolio, program, different departments. This is why you can hear and see frameworks like SAFe or Scaled Agile Framework that is used by 35% of the companies using Agile at scale. You have Scrum at scale. You have Scrum of Scrum, actually. This is what I used to do with companies when we first started implementing Scrum in Lebanon in 2014. We used to use Scrum of Scrum. ما كان في safe بعد. You have other frameworks like disciplined agile delivery, and currently it is, if I'm not mistaken, it was merged with the PMP, and you can have disciplined agile courses and exams in PMI profession, right? And you have lean management, you have Nexus, developed by scrum.org. You have less. You have another framework, Scrum at Scale, but it's not mentioned here. So all of these are frameworks that allow the company to become agile. And finally, 37% of the companies that use agile frameworks are in the development industry, mainly software development. 26% are in the IT, 12% in operation, and we have marketing, HR, and sales companies that use Agile as well. In my work, I got the chance to work with one marketing and sales team to implement Agile methodologies for them. Any questions before we continue?
So mainly, you said the business now moving into Agile?
Yes. Before it was the technical software development and IT, but currently even the business is moving into Agile. And you can start reading articles and having trainings about business agility. So it's Agile for the full value flow of the company, not only on the development or manufacturing or production scale.
جوانا انا تؤد على شو اسمه، لانه طلعت انا الاجايل عم بيطلع اكثر على السوفت وير، بس هلا الديماند از مور اون ذا اجيليتي اوف اولسو ذا مانجمنت. صار في ابديت على الاجيليتي او ذا اجايل فريم ورك، اما لا هن they trying to cope it، اما لا something new.
ما هو هي this is why أنا في فرق بين agile وبين framework. الagile هو إذا بدك الagile هن values وال principles. So being agile you need to apply the values and principles. Now to do this في كتير frameworks in the market.
اوكي.
الفريموركس يلي أكتر شيء معروفين هن للسوفتوير ديفلوبمنت، يعني وقت بنحكي كانبان سكرام، لأنه it started in the software. بس ما في شيء بيقول إنه ما فيك تستعمل كانبان للبزنس مثلا. أكيد you can. ما في شيء بيقول إنه ما فيك
كانبان بالسلايدز تبعه بحط لك فوق تيستينج، بحط لك فوق هدول التايتلز.
اوكي الكانبان يو بيلد ات، بتحط انت اللي بدك اياه بالكولمز.
اوكي سو اتس مانا ريجيد.
نو مانا ريجيد ات اول. رح نحكي عن كانبان هلا رايت. بس قبل ما نحكي عن كانبان بدي ناخد بوز، واللي في حده ورقه وقلم to write 3 things or more you remember until now from what we talked. Stuff that were like, I don't know, you remember for any reason, that were meaningful to you, that were not understood, whatever.
هاي جوانا.
هاي.
سوري بس كنت بدي اسال انه ليه السكرام اخذ تقريبا ماركت شير 37%؟ شو اللي بيميزه عن باقي يعني هو مور سمبل مثلا؟ ليش العالم شو مانجمنت انتو سكرام مش كانبان او لين؟
Kanban is used كمان كتير و just to tell you that Scrum and Kanban can be used together. اللي بيميز السكرام إنه Scrum was created by Ken Schwaber and Jeff Sutherland specifically for the software industry. So when they created Scrum, they created it while having the software industry in mind. But the updated version of Scrum, if you read the Scrum guide today, you will find that it's more open to other industries. مشان هيك وبعدين Scrum is one of the oldest frameworks. يعني إذا عم نحكي lean بالأول، وقت بقول lean بقول Kanban كتول، من بعدها إجا Scrum. lean أكتر بيستعمل in the manufacturing، يعني كل شيء manufacturing ما بتلاقي Scrum، بتلاقي أكتر lean approach. كل شيء software development بتلاقي Scrum لأنه the framework was made initially to create complex products, and software products are complex products.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Now we will talk about specific agile practices for service desk. فينا نحكي كتير عن Scrum، وإذا ضل في وقت and you are interested, I can share you more information about Scrum. But in today's session, I plan to talk about Kanban because it is the most suited for service desk. Why the most suited? لأنه in service desk usually we have we are not building a product, but we have requests, and the priority is mainly first in, first out. So you build your board based on your personal company workflow or process. إذا بتشوفوا بأول البورد في items that are ready to pull. وحكينا إنه when the next station is ready to take more work, they will pull from the list of work or the backlog of ready items. اللي راح تشوفوه هون column names are set by the company or by the department using Kanban. منن fixed أبدا. Kanban is a Japanese word that means science. So Kanban هو حتى منه البورد. Kanban means science. That's it. في عنا بكانبان 3 or 4 points that we need to have in addition to the board. You need to have a pull system versus a push system. So you are not in a Kanban mode as our management is pushing work to the team more than what they can do. حتى لو في board, this wouldn't be called Kanban. You are not in a Kanban mode if you don't limit your work in progress to optimize your flow. You are not in a Kanban mode if you don't have production just in time. If you set your plan and you prepare your backlog for the year to come, and then you just have to deal with this backlog من هلا لسنة لقدام، ما بنكون عم نستفيد من البورد. And in addition to the board, you have to have the policies visible. راح نشوف كلهم هيدول in details later. Also, Kanban is mainly about continuous improvement. So if we have a Kanban board in place, if we have a Kanban system, it is mainly to check our flow, optimize it, and improve it. This is the purpose. Kanban has some principles. وراح تشوفوا إنه these principles are very close to the Agile principles, to the ITIL 4 principles. Start with what we know. Agree to pursue incremental evolutionary change. Respect the current process, roles, and responsibilities, and encourage acts of leadership at all levels. when you use Kanban عنده minimal impact on your process, even minimal than Scrum. We were saying that Scrum is a lightweight framework. It doesn't have a lot of rules and roles, but yet it has some rules. While Kanban is really the lightest weight agile framework. It will not impact your current roles. It will not impact your current ceremonies. It will not impact anything. But to use Kanban, لأنه ما في كتير rules, you need to have leadership at all levels. Like you need to have people responsible and accountable for what they are doing. لأنه ما في rules. So the less rules you have, the more accountability and responsibility you need among your people. Kanban is not to make revolution a change. It's to make evolution small incremental changes. The objective of having a Kanban system is first to regulate the workload and variable requests flow, and to have these like regulated in one flow and optimize the workload. It also allows you to balance the demand and the production system. And it will reduce system variability. It will increase system consistency and system predictability. كتير حلو، شي بعقد. طيب شو بنعمل فيه لكن كيف بنطبقه؟ Kanban عنده specific practices. Visualize, limit work in progress, manage flow, make policies explicit, implement feedback loops, and improve collaboratively. رح نشوف كل practice how we can apply it to a service desk case. Thank you, Antoine, for sending to me this service desk example or process, and I will use it in this presentation. So this is a typical service desk process. You log in your request, you diagnose and escalate if you cannot resolve it, or you diagnose and resolve. You validate the resolution, you restore the service, and then you send a survey to the customer to get feedback on the service you provided. Now, first of all, we said that we need to visualize this process. So I take my process and I create my Kanban board. لأنه عندي log request, diagnose and escalate, diagnose and resolve, I create the Kanban board accordingly. If my process was different, so I don't know, let's say my process is for HR, recruitment. Like we post an ad, we collect CVs, we screen CVs, we select the most suitable for the job, we do a phone interview, then we do an in-person interview, then we select the candidate, then my Kanban would be different. It will reflect these steps. إذا بدي أكون more precise and more elaborate, for each step in my process, I can have two states, either in progress or done. And this is suitable for the non-automated steps. So if logging request, for example, is done automatically by the system, I don't see like in progress and done will not work. If logging request is done manually by people based on emails they receive, then they might have a lot of requests in progress to be logged. And once the request is logged in the system, it can move to the done column. The same for diagnosing and escalating requests, or resolving, or validating, or restoring the service. Why? Because whatever is in the done column is ready to be pulled by the next station, or the next step, or the next person, or the next team. So you visualize your process the way you like it. Each company, each person can visualize the process they have in the way that they find it most beneficial to them. Second, we create a feedback loop لأنه قلنا إنه نحن our purpose is to deliver value and continuously improve. How can we improve if we don't have a feedback loop? So in this case, we are adding a survey at the end of the process. You can have a retrospective with your team. You can have an interview with the client. So any feedback loop that is quick, easy, simple to have, and that will allow you to improve your process. You need to make the policies explicit. قلنا Kanban ما في كتير rules. We are in an agile framework. يعني ما عندنا كتير written processes. So how to be aligned on how to move our items from one column to the other. We can make and we need to make our policies visible and clear on the Kanban board. كنا عم نحكي على Kanban board on a wall or in a digital Kanban board. So you need to have your policies and rules visible. So everybody would know what would make my ticket go from one state to the other. What would be a good request acceptable by the service desk? What would be what would make a request resolved? What would make a request validated? It should be tested, for example. How I can make sure that the service is restored? I don't know, maybe I need to contact the client by email or phone. Whatever rules you have. Then, sometimes you will see some, when you visualize your process, you will notice some bottlenecks. You will notice some places where you have more work than other places. And when you notice some bottlenecks, this is where you want to improve your workflow. One way of improving is to limit the WIP. By limiting the WIP, we can say that in my system, in my company, in my department, I can diagnose and escalate 3 tickets at any given time. I can resolve 2 tickets at any given time. I can validate 1 ticket at any given time, and I can restore the service for 1 ticket at any given time. So in this case, you know your capacity, and you won't push further than your capacity. You try to optimize the system in a way to have always 3 tickets to diagnose and escalate, 2 tickets, not more, to resolve, and 1 ticket to validate and 1 ticket to restore the service. There is a say, the system is as weak as its weakest point. Kanban, or visualizing the process, will allow you to see where are the weakest points of the system. And here comes the continuous improvement. So either you limit the WIP to cope with the system as it is, or you try to improve your weakest point so you can improve your system. We need to manage the flow and improve collaboratively. This is the purpose. رح نرجع بكل column we have in progress and done. Why? In Kanban, you can measure, and measuring is very important. What you measure is how quickly I can deliver value to my client. This is the lead time. The lead time in Kanban is the time from the moment we receive the request from the client till the moment we deliver the value to the client. I was about to say the product, and then I remembered that we are in service desk. So lead time is من وقت ما باخد الطلب أو الريكوست أو من الكلاينت لحد ما سلمه الفيكس أو الأبديت or this is the lead time. And to deliver value to the client, to satisfy your client, you need to minimize your lead time. Cycle time is more used in software development. It is the time from the moment the developers start working on the item until the moment development ends and is validated. So usually in development companies, we try to minimize the cycle time. How can we do that? We measure the time needed in each part of my workflow, the in-progress time and the idle time. The idle time means the time an item stays in ready to pull, but it's not taken by the second state of the process or the second step. In this example, the efficiency of the system is the value added time over the lead time. And in our case, for this example, the efficiency is 65%. We have, you can see some waiting time here, 10 minutes after the request is logged, 10 minutes before it is resolved, another 10 minutes before it is before we can restore the service. No, I mean 20 minutes and 20 minutes before we do the survey with the client. So all these idle times will slower my system. We need to reduce this time, and we reduce it by optimizing the system, not by pushing more work to the system. The idea is that we cannot produce more work by pushing more work. If we have a machine, I need to understand how much this machine can produce. And then if I wanted to do more work, I need to optimize it. I need to improve the engine. I need to reduce, I don't know, fix some problems in the machine so it can produce more. The last step, we are doing all of this to improve collaboratively. We cannot improve alone in our corner. We need to improve together. We need to improve the system, not my department or my employees. So first we have an overall view of all my system. We manage the WIP, so we don't have bottlenecks. We reduce the idle time, so we are optimizing the system. We get feedback from the clients. We can retrospect with all the involved persons, have a retrospective. We can have daily stand-up meeting to plan for the work of the day and try to adjust for and remove bottlenecks when possible. So let's take another minute. You can write one thing or more you will try in your work environment. And you can ask me questions in the meantime if you wish. Or you know what? You can share one thing you believe you will try or was beneficial for you. You can write it and you can share it loudly.
I guess efficiency. Efficiency, yes. Very important, because now you can measure the efficiency of your processes.
Yes.
And this is very important for service desk people.
Yes.
It's
actually
not only
it is
about having a process, it's also how to improve your process. So exactly. There is a way to improve it.
Yes, there is a way to improve it. And في حدا قال إنه if you can measure it, you can improve it. So you need to measure, as you said, and then you can improve. This is important in service desk. For those who have worked in development, mainly software development, I guess you will know that this is also important in software development. This is why in software development, we also measure cycle time or other metrics to try to improve the process.
عندي سؤال. If you can measure and the management is not accepting those measures, لا no, it's a real question. I think everybody can
yes,
relate
I know.
to
I know it's a real question. I know.
بعتقد الأغلبية هون بيوافقوا. لا أنت you cannot manage 3 بالساعة, you can manage 10 بالساعة. we know إنه نحن كل هالexercise is really to take what you can take, مش what you cannot take.
Exactly. لأنه أنت you want to deliver value and deliver quality كمان. يعني بالنهاية you want to deliver. I can tell you from my experience, usually when you are working, limiting the WIP, specifically limiting the WIP, will help you be more productive. So you can show to the management one scenario that is the current scenario, and then another scenario when you limit your WIP. People think that when limiting the WIP, we are increasing the amount of work that we are delivering. Actually, it's not the case. When we limit the WIP, we increase the throughput, or the outcome, or the output. So you can show to the management, you can tell them, okay, now we are delivering this number of requests per day. But if we try to work, and you try to work more efficiently for 1 day or for 1 week, and you tell them, okay, we tried this and we get this outcome. يعني this is the only advice that comes to my mind right now. لأنه it's not easy to convince the management. I agree. Is there anybody who would like to share something that stayed in your mind, or something that you would like to try?
بس كنت حابب أعلق على موضوع إنه يعني لما بعثوا لي الانفيتيشن كرمال هذه البرزنتيشن، اول ما شفت اجايل ان سيرفيس ديسك كنت شوي هيك يعني انترستينج، لانه دائما نحن بنعرف الاجايل موستلي بيكون بالسوفت وير ديفلوبمنت، بس كانفراستراكشر نحن بنشتغل مثلا انا كسيرفيس ديسك انفراستراكشر مينلي، بنكون يمكن نحن عم نحاول نكون اجايل بس without maybe following the Scrum أو specific framework. يعني نحن أنا ما أكون بدي أكون أجايل، خلينا نقول هو الفوكس تبعي حيكون على الليد تايم، صح؟ على الوقت اللي أنا I receive the request from end user لحد ما حل المشكلة وارجع to evaluate it through the survey. بس لكون أنا أجايل أو sprint أو efficient أو effective أو adapt whatever كنا عم نحكي عنهم، أنا برأيي يعني at least we need 3 things. أول شيء the right tool لازم تكون عنا، improve the process وهيدي أكيد بدها support من management و to automate the process. Once you have هدول 3 pillars خلينا نقول we can reduce the lead time. فقبل ما نحط أي process بحس إنه الأجايل هي mindset. يعني once we have the right mindset نقدر يمكن نطبق الأجايل. ما بعرف شو رأيك
ما بعرف إذا the connection not hearing anymore. عم تسمعوني؟
نحن هلا عم نسمعك. ايه يمكن قطشتي شوي.
اوكي
فيك ترجع تعيد؟
كان في حدا عم يسأل شيء.
اي صح.
ما بعرف
ترجع بتعيد؟
حكيت كثير، ما بعرف على اي بارت ما سمعت.
يمكن انت المنتال كنت عم تحكي عن منتاليتي هي تكون اجايل اول شيء،
لانه هي مايند سيت قبل لا نطبق الاجايل.
كان حدا عم بيقول انه to be agile بدنا 3 اشياء: the right tools.
صح.
Okay, let me answer.
process automation و support اكيد from
أكيد
management.
you need the right tools and continuous improvement. عم نحكي Kanban. There are multiple tools that allows you to use Kanban. إن كان on the cloud، إن كان جيرا، إن كان target process. في كتير softwares، Trello، في كتير softwares that suit different companies, different budgets, different needs. بس أنا ما فتت in this presentation بالsoftwares that you can use to apply Kanban framework, for example، لأنه موجودين. You can find them. The idea to be agile is to believe that people are more important than the process. To believe that I want to deliver value to the client. I want to reduce waste. I want to change my process. Mainly I want to optimize my process. هذا اللي بخلينا agile. مش الفريم ورك. يلي بخلينا agile هو نحن فعلا انه انا بدي to deliver value to the client. أنا بدي to deliver value to the client as quickly as possible while maintaining quality. يعني I don't want to risk quality quickly. It's about delivering to the client. So
اكيد
بعد في شي
طبعا
سؤال؟
طبعا احنا بالنهايه الالتيميت
في
اوبجيكتيف
شيء
طبعا
كنتوا حابين احكي عنه وما حكيت عنه بالبرزنتيشن؟
لا بس مداخلة حسام في كتير فاليو عطى الاجايل ان سيرفيس ديسك وهيدا عادة سيرفيس ديسك people they don't see it. Thank you very much جوانا لأنه ضويتي على شيء كتير مهم لجميع السيرفيس ديسك to use agile on a daily basis.
بعدكم عم تشوفوا السكرين عندي؟
وي بعدنا ماشي الحال.
الو في
ايه
حدا؟
نحن عم نسمعك.
رودي عم تسمعني؟
ايه عم نسمعك نحن.
Okay, you're hearing me? Fine. What we will do, okay, so the last step we will do, I want from you a ROT. ROT means return on invested time. One means like the time you spent was useless, so you gained nothing, you lost like 1 hour. 2 mean it was useful, but it wasn't 100% worth the time spent. 3, it means it was average. 4, above average, and 5 is excellent, like it was really meaningful and this session for you. So feel free to give objectively your ROTI in the chat and any feedback you would like to share. Thank you very much for your presence, and you can contact me on LinkedIn or by email to ask me any questions. I didn't go into all the details of agility, of the different frameworks because of the time. Like we only had 44 minutes for the presentation or 1 hour, but you can contact me and ask me anything you would like to. Thank you.
بليز على الشات كملوا لجوانا تعرفيه، ونحن لنا كمان على السيرفي تبع البول بقلب زوم كمان نحن نقدر نشكركم كمان على الفيدباك، واذا في شيء نحن كمان حسنوا بليز دو
take a look at the chat. Wow, 555. Thank you very much. Thank you.
جوانا عم تسمعينا؟
And if you have any feedback about anything you would like to improve, or I'm open to feedback.
جوانا عم تسمعينا بقى جوان؟
لا. اوكي، هل عنده سؤال بليز يحطه بالشات هيك تقدر جوانا ترد عليه. نحن we're open for questions now. Thank you كلكم على الأجوبة وحضوركم اليوم. بعتقد it was very valuable. بعتقد شفنا شيء جديد، البريدجينج على ميلة السيرفيس ديسك. راح سكر السيرفي، أنا راح أتشكركم على الموضوع. Very interesting indeed جورج. Thank you محمد. إذا في سؤال تناخده نحن تنقدر هيك كمان للي عم يحضرنا على يوتيوب. إذا عندكم كمان سؤال please communicate. follow جوانا على لينكدين، follow us على SDFA. هلا ونحط نحن اللينكات كمان ونحطهم محطوطين على يوتيوب ورح نحطهم كمان هون.
right.
جوانا نحن ما عم نسمعك.
I cannot hear you.
Okay, it seems جوانا عندها technical problem. نحن we will stay just to نجرب to contact her. أنا بتشكركم باسمنا باسم SDFA. Wait for us soon. There will be more events. If you are not on the إذا ما نكون على الواتساب جروب please follow us على الواتساب جروب للي بده يتواصل معنا، وفولو اس كمان على اللينكدين هو اللي حطيتهم هلا انا بقلب الشات. alright. thank you لكم. it was very valuable. thank you جوانا. ايه تفضلي جوانا.
عندنا مشكلة انترنت الظاهر جوانا، ما عم نسمعها حتى.
alright. انا راح اوقف الريكوردينج